So now here I am back. Let's pop up the stream. We are in the lobby. So why don't we have a look at the standings while we're waiting for everything to set up. Let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship first, with Red Bull, who is leading the pack with 153 points over Alpine, which is in P2 with 132 points. Then there is an intense fight for P3 in the championship among McLaren, Mercedes, Aston Martin, and also we can include Ferrari if we can manage. Let me mute all. Okay, if we can, if they will manage to score a good amount of points, they surely will be in the mix for P3 in the championship. Then we have Williams, Alfa Romeo, and As, and also Fattori fighting for P7. And finally we have Lamborghini, which is the reserve drivers theme, and today there are no drivers that are taking place with the Lamborghini. So let's have a look at the standings, the driver standings, where Mr. Dubra is leading by 11 points on Nicolas Boita, and Mr. Dubra looks the faster one in today's race. Then we have Lersher Quest retired, so I think we can say he's out of contention for the Drivers' Championship. Then we have Barks with 59 points, who has the opportunity to get the place on the Red Bull and clinch P3 in the Drivers' Championship. Then Trackster in P5 in the Mercedes, who is showing some really good pace, at least in the first elimination race. Then we have Jules in the McLaren with 53 just behind him. And then we have Lumax with 50 points. And Simopets with 47, who looks as the favorite drivers to win this race. But anything can happen on a reverse grid. So I might lose the car, get in contact with someone else. We will see what is gonna happen. Tell me also if you want me to. I'm gonna reduce a bit the music because this is really loud. Hopefully the stream went live not only now. We were having a look at the Drivers' Championship while Barks is telling the drivers to ready up. So we will go racing very soon. So let's have a look at the lobby scenes. And now we're going racing very soon with the second of 3 elimination races, 25% races. We have also a bunch of graphics that I really want to show you, and I will in these very next few races. Also tell me in the chat, how is the race? Sorry, how is the quality of the stream after these small changes to the connection? hopefully has improved. So only multiplayers and get the money and run to load. Let me okay, everything should look fine now. Only these two drivers that are not putting ready. Oh, there. Or maybe the lobby is freezed. Hopefully not, because we've just started the second race. We will soon receive a notify by barks if needed. Still not loading, so I think we need to restart the session very soon. Let's see. Let's wait another couple of seconds, then surely barks will talk through the PS chat. So let's do some prediction in the meantime with the standings. So Mr. Debro needs to outscore Nicholas Boyd, the drivers in second place, whatever it is, by 17 points. So even if he score 0 points in the endurance race, that is the ninth and final round in Japan, then it's gonna be clear of the driver in P2. But also last year, also as Barks told in the chat to restart the lobby, so we are looking to get a new one and a new also to restart this second race. And while are we waiting out, I remember the last year the endurance race, that is a 200% race, got double points for every driver, so maybe we're gonna see double points even now on the next race. That will, I guess, be a really better show, because many drivers that are not be able to do so many points in these races, if they get a really good result in an endurance race, then we'll sure get a really good bounce in the standings. Also driver and so constructor, because there are many drivers. Let's have a look at it. There are many drivers, many teams that are 30 points, 40 points behind the Red Bull, and also with Dirt Shark, who is out of this race. Red Bull might lose very important points going into the endurance race, and maybe we can see Mercedes bouncing back, because we saw Simapaz and Trackster getting a 1-2 in the first elimination race, and with 30 points in the bag, imagine a 1-2 plus a fastest lap, they will really get close. Only 15 or 20 points behind Red Bull. And if they can score the same amount in the last race, then they will really get close to clinch the title, or maybe they will effectively manage to do it. So let's have a look at the other of the Drivers' Championship, because still I could check the Discord server to see if there are any kind of spoiler on the points that will be awarded in the final race, but nothing to show. I was imagining a scenario when Simpets wins both races and the Endurance have double points. He will get around 45 points that will lead him up to 90, no sorry, 89, no 92, as I was saying, 92. But still Mr. Debro is 10 points behind with 2 races to go, so it's looking really difficult for Simopets to win this championship, because he joined really late. Even if he won 2 races in a row. Also, what is happening to Nicolas Boita? He managed to score a P3 last time around, but it was really hard to getting on the pace in the last events. He showed some really good progress in the first few races. I generally thought he will be easily winning the championship, but after 3 rounds he started lacking some pace, and now he's not really there on the race pace. Also here in Azerbaijan we saw him coming P7 behind F1 Racing Warren. But still, anything needs to be decided, because an incident will be so important, so difficult to recover, or even impossible if your car gets destroyed. Most likely the front suspension are the most fragile one, the one you need to preserve. And we are now back in a new lobby. Let's pop it up. There are only 12 drivers, so 2 are missing right now. One is, I think, is Simopaz. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because he's not in the lobby. I saw there are many Simopaz fans. Please let me know if Simopaz can join. Okay, now here he is. So he's now in the lobby and he's choosing the theme. Here we are in the Mercedes, and let's see who is missing. Dershark, it's not, because it's not taking place, and his real Saravillo was just joined, and so the Aston Martin driver is in the lobby. Now Barks needs to set the grid, and then we will go racing. Hopefully the lobby is not back. It's not laggy, and in fact Barks, as you can tell, is lighting is ready and unready up. So we are going racing. So excited to start this second elimination race. We are on the very penultimate race of the season here in Division 1, and so in Division 2 that will start after the third elimination race of Division 1. Not everyone is riding up. Mr. Dibra is a really cool profile imagine here on F1 2021. That is an helmet that really looks like the Among Us character. And now there are only 6 drivers ready up, 5. I wonder what is happening, why the drivers are not ready up. Okay, now they are. Please, also real simopeds ready up. Two Brennans left the session, he is not joined back. Barks is unready, so hopefully everything is right. Let's see, maybe Barks forgot to change the qualifying. Sorry, the starting grid. We'll see that soon. Now, as always, the drivers are loading, only get a money on run. We're waiting, but the clock is ticking, so the lobby is not back, likely. We are only waiting the AlphaTauri drivers to start, but it's not loading. Let's see what is gonna happen. So the loading is complete, as the game suggests, on the left hand side. And now the drivers are putting their setups on and deciding whether the strategy they applied before was correct, so the medium softs or the soft medium, and they maybe want to go for the opposite one. Some drivers have the ideas clear, and they are already starting. And we are gonna start very soon. Let's see if the grid is correct. I think it is. Yeah, it is. It is correct, with Zabijaka on pole position, followed by Gelmani on run in the AlphaTauri in P2, Mooman Graham in the Haas in P3, who has made it through the second elimination race because the other drivers really DNF before him. Then we have Heisenberg on the mediums. Let's put tires on so that we have a graphic. Well, only a few drivers on the mediums. Eisenberg, Simopez, Mr. Debra and Roadstar Video on mediums. Maybe the others are insecure to make it and want to get a really sprint start at the very beginning. Mars in P5 on the Ferrari behind his teammate has gone for the soft tires. Then Warren, the McLaren, wants to replicate his start on the softs. Simopeds, the Mercedes driver, in P7. Jules and Trackster and Barks complete the top 10, all in softs. On softs. Nicholas in P11, but in front of Barks for whatever reason. I think he's spinning up Nicholas. In fact, he has overtaken Barks. And also Jules, who is sitting behind. They're not respecting their position, but it's fine, you can do that on the formation lap. Well, Mr. Duber is really far back, maybe wants to get better tires, and as Simoped says, spun, so he might have overheated tires at the moment. And want to... Now he's heating up, huh? I thought we wanted to cool them down, but it's not. Here is the guy who takes control of the car. So for Jules, Struxter and the rest of the grid. So why don't we put broadcast and go on Zabijaka, who is already sitting in his grid pod, and we are going racing very soon. The green flag has been shown right now, and now there are 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light, and away we go. We have a really good point of view. Let's see if Zabijaka gets overtaken even this time, and in fact he's getting money on run, gets the inside lane, but Zabijaka fight back and gets his place up. Now Mooman is still in P3, Marcy and Eisenberg fighting in turn 3, and there's also Simopeds who has done an amazing start getting to P5. Let's see the position change. Mr. Dibro lost 2 places crucially, is now sitting in P last, and he won't get by the 3rd elimination race if he doesn't manage to clean some drivers. Jules is also out at the at this moment. From Jules down to Mr. Dibers, they are all out of the race, but Traxter is losing some places. Does he have damage? I saw him going really slowly, but from the start he started P9, now he's in P7. Nicolas Boita, an amazing start from the Alpine driver, from P11 up to 9th, behind Warren as he finished the first race, while Barks is overtaking Moti Perez, when Moti Perez fighting with Mr. Dibro. No, sorry, it's Barks fighting with Moti Perez. Mr. Dibro is behind. Moti Perez fought back, but is Barks gonna try to make a move down inside here? He really needs to make this move done because he's losing so much ground. Moti Perez is so far from Rusavillo. Now Barks and Mr. Dibro are risking so much at the moment. Let's see the Ferrari of Marcy. Oh, let's see Simopeds, who is really close, and he's in fact overtaking Newman to get up to P3. Really important move from the Mercedes driver. So let's see if Marcy is sitting behind his teammates in P5. They both lost 1 places from Simopeds. The gaps are a little bit they are incorrect, but still we can also put the minimap so that we can understand better what is happening. Heisenberg goes defensive when Mooman goes a little bit too wide, and Heisenberg is gonna zwoops around the outside to get P4. Marcy try to follow his teammate, but he doesn't really manage to do it. And also Traxter is waiting to pick up the scraps of these battles, but he's still sitting P7. That is a safe place, but not too safe since the elimination zone is really close, because Nicolas Boita lost the place on Jules on the McLaren. Now he's virtually eliminated, but get the money on run as DNF. Let's see what is happening. Oh, incredibly, also Simopeds has lost the car, and now there is a really big train. Yeah, let's see if the drivers broke their front wing. Get the money on run, stuck on this side of the track. An amazing scene. We are in Baku, and now the gaps will be even bigger. Who is gonna have a front wing damage? Now Mr. Dibro is really far back. Moti Perez have lost both places, and Zabijaka is flying because he was the driver in the first, and Get the Money on Run was second, and it completely stopped everyone. So Zabijaka, we can say that really easily he's gonna be qualified for the 3rd race. Now we got damage. We're gonna see him going into the pit now, and Marcy looks like he got front wing damage because he's going into the pit, and so is doing Traxter, while Jules is passing by. Let's see. Almost Traxter getting a penalty for colliding with Marcy. Also Mooman and Warren are pitting, and now this shuffles really heavily the standings at the moment. There are drivers who are putting the hard tires, so Marcy is not confident that the mediums can do 10 laps, or maybe the game suggests him to do to put the R tires to complete the race, but I think, and we can all agree that this is not the best strategy, because the mediums can do surely 10 laps. They might be not in the best shape in the very last few laps, but they're completely fine, surely. Well, Simopet says catch Eisenberg here. And now the Mercedes is really looking to get to Zabijaja with 8.9 seconds behind. By the end of the straight, the gap will surely go down. Here it is, Simopez going down inside of the Ferrari, the 17 years old, secting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:43.0, going a little bit wide, just behind Eisenberg, following him, his ex-teammates, and also I think we have his dad with his engineer on the chat. There is a little bit of a credit for you, but we need to focus on the race from where the drivers are fighting not to get eliminated. Monty Perez in P9 wasn't pitted yet, is gonna fight with Nicolas Boita for position, while Traxter, who has already pitted, has gone behind Nicolas, so he's in a very premium spot right now, Nicolas, because he has all the trains of cars that had to pit the lap before, and now Marcy is trying to go down inside of Traxter. Traxter brakes really late, and Marcy decides to give him the position. Let's see, we're in 3 seconds behind, so he's losing so much time to the Ferrari, and it's not looking good for the McLaren driver, and he needs to speed up if he wants to qualify for the last elimination race, while Semopets is speeding up badly with a 1:42.6, an amazing lap from him. Let's stay on board a little bit with Mr. Debro, the championship leader. He's down in P7, 0.6 of a second behind Barks, who is clearly going into the pit to change his set of tires. Let's see where Barks is gonna hand up, while Mr. Debro does now have Rail Staravio in front in his Aston Martin. That contact, that episode was really important with Get the Money on Run being out of the race in the castle section, and Barks rejoined on track behind his teammate Nicolas Boita, and behind also Monty Perez wasn't pitted yet, so an amazing effort from Barks, who is now 3.5 seconds behind in front of Traxter, who is leading the train of the cars who has already pitted. Yellow flag in sector 2. What is happening? Was that McLaren of Jules? Yeah, because Reels get past. Ooh, and now Reels goes a little bit wide, and incredible overtake. Maybe Reels got I don't think what happened. Maybe it was just really nice overtake from the McLaren. And the leaders goes into the pit. Zabijaja from soft to medium is gonna rejoin behind, maybe in the time with Jules. Is gonna maybe even in front of Jules, actually surely in front of Jules, because it's leaving the pit now. And so the Alfa Romeo driver was leading the race, rejoining P3 with Eisenberg yet to pit, and so for Simo. Let's have a look on board with Barks, who's trying to make a move of multi-powers. Multi-powers doesn't go defensive. Barks take the inside line. The Alpine driver has gone to P8 while his teammate sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:42. Let me check. 0.6. So the Alpine is now the fastest car on track at the moment, and the two LPs are in P6 and P7. And they have already pitted. We're almost at the half of the second race, and there are many questions about who is gonna be eliminated, because half of the grid that was already pitted, almost all the grid is on mediums, while there is only Marcy on hards. And we're waiting for Simopets, Eisenberg, Rails, and Mr. Dibro and Moti Paris to beat, to understand who is gonna be eliminated in this second race and who is gonna have a shutout for the win in the very final race. So Mr. Dibra 7/10 behind Rails Toravio. Rails, who is dragging along the championship leader when there's been an incident, because multi-pairs have lost 2 places from Jules and Traxter, and now Jules, who has pitted at the same 1 laps earlier than Barks, is now in P8, and now Traxter is trying to get the McLaren because he's in P9, so just the very last safe spot. While Multiparis goes into the pit by being and Traxter has lost the car. He was going way too fast on the exit of the second corner, and now crucially the Mercedes is out of the race. And now it looks like the two asses got a money on run, and Traxter will be the 4 eliminated. Oh, Diego Sanchez. A very big connection jump. Okay, so Traxter has shown this car into the wall crucially, and now he's out of the second race and won't take place in the third one. And Get the Money on Run also is out, and I think also the two asses is way too far back, and now it's all about Warren if he managed to catch Marcy, because otherwise the other drivers are safe. So Traxter also reduce the chances of Mercedes to get the Constructor Championship, because with 13th place he will only score 3 points, which is not enough. Now Mr. Dibro is still behind Rails, but I don't think he does know that he's safe, because the gap between him and Warren is over 25 seconds, and with his space he can work his way up the field on a brand new set of subs. So unless Mr. Dibra does a crucial mistake of shunting the car on the wall, then he's gonna get through to the very last race. But the star of today is surely Zabijaka, who got undercutted by Simopets, who does have so much pace, so much more pace than Zabijaka, but we all know that, but he's really doing a really good job, because he got through the first race and now he's sitting in P2 very comfortably with 5 seconds in front of Rails, who is yet to pit. the drivers in net P3 is Eisenberg with over 8 seconds. So the Finnish driver is doing a very good job, and he's gonna start on pole even the next race, and hopefully he's gonna maintain the lead going to turn 1 as he did this race and as he didn't the first race. So let's jump on board with Rails, who's really close to Barks. The Aston Martin driver is looking a little bit too close to Barks. Was almost running into the back of him. And is now following the Alpine through the second sector. Yeah, Simo Pets is first indeed. Sorry, rules appeared out of nowhere. So the Aston Martin driver is in P7, but he's not really gaining on Barks. Actually, he's losing, and he's now on the edge of getting out of the DRS range. Simopets 1:40.8, fastest lap overall, another time. And Rils is really fighting to get the place of Mr. Debra undercutting the Red Bull. We'll see from his on board. Actually, let's stay on board with Barks. The 4 drivers that looks to be eliminated are Traxxer, Get Money Around, Mooman and Motiparis. The 5th drivers is yet to be decided, while Rils get past Barks, and now also Mr. Debra is joining the track with Jules coming faster than him, but not enough to get a position on the Red Bull. And Warren doesn't seem that he has the pace to get out of this elimination zone, but still with 3 laps to go, anything can happen. If someone crashes into the wall, then it's gonna be game on. Barks is now slowing down the 2 drivers behind. Barks is fine, unless obviously shun the car on the wall, then we're gonna get to the 3rd and final race. And now we're gonna see Mr. Debra attempting the overtake on the Alpine. Now Barkley is navigating this section really good. And he's going to flank him, but his red light is flashing, and it does mean that he's running out of battery, and Mr. Debra gets the move done on the Alpine driver, but it goes really wide, so Barks is gonna have a really good jump here, and is having a look down inside. Jules is also having a look at Barks as well, that now sits behind Mr. Debra, the championship leader, with the DRS wide open, when almost Jules tried to go for a dive bomb. Oh, and Barks has missed completely the braking point and is now losing so much time. Let's see, Marcy is coming at him. He's on the tires, and now Barks is in P8 and is risking to get overtaken by Marcy. Let's see. 1.5 seconds. Now Barks really need to focus back. Mars is also closing in on the Alpine. Let's pop up the Marcy banner. Here he is, the German driver. In the Ferrari, looks like a little bit of Sebastian Vettel, a German in a Ferrari, or maybe if he wants to be optimistic, a little bit of Schumacher in the early 2000. But now he's losing some ground now. The bar says come back up to speed, up the pace. And the end of this second race looks a little bit drier than the first one. But we've seen who really has the pace on the others, and Simopets does have surely his chance to win since he starts further up the grid. Then Zabjaka in P2, if he gets a really good start, we have seen him doing so good. So he may look for a podium finisher, since Eisenberg is in P3, and also Nicholas Boyta. Some incident will be major important, really important, as the one that involved Gallimani on run. That completely stopped all the train of cars. Restart video in P5. And the faster strategy looks like the medium to softs to end the race on a better compound, as we are on the last lap. And we can also discount the undercut, because Nicholas did really a very good job in the first few races, pitting really early on lap 4 from soft to medium, and is now sitting in P4. So sorry, he will really get good points out of it. Nicholas needs to finish ahead of Mr. Dubra by at least a couple of places if he wants to keep the dream alive of fighting for the championship. The two are separated by 11 points, we saw. Let me just have yeah, 11 points. Simpets cross the line to win again, to win the second elimination race. And now we have Zabjaka, who is my driver of the day, surely, and he's getting second place and he's waving, so very well done, Zabjaka. Eisenberg in P3 completing the podium. Nicholas Boyta in P4 after an amazing first stint, and Reels almost getting him, and Reels get P5 in the Aston Martin, followed by Mr. Debra, who was behind him all the race, and he finished like that. Barks at the end managed to get through after his mistake and get to P8. Marcy as the final step, and after a hard strategy managed to get through. Warren is the first drivers of the eliminated one, so we'll get 6 points, but surely he's not happy. I think he had the pace to fight for the top 9, but it is what it is. And now Warren is out alongside Newman in P11, who has shown some decent pace and also some decent consistency. and also the other race is out of Moti Perez and the two drivers that has DNF that are Trackster in the Mercedes and Get the Money on Run. The graphics say the driver of the day is Rails Tervilla, but I have to say Zabijaka drove an incredible race. Two Italian flags on the podium, really proud of it. So let's have a look at the standings. Simopeds first with a 140.8. The second drivers to come closer is Rustar Viudo with a 141.9, so 1.1 seconds behind his fastest lap. Then we have Zabijaka, Eisenberg and Nicholas Boyta, Rails and Mr. Debro. Nicholas Rails and Mr. Debro really did a pretty good work climbing up to the field. Jules in P7 has gained only one place on the mistake that Barks made at the very it was not the last lap, the penultimate lap, which managed to get through, and the last drivers who managed to get through is Marcy, the German driver, who started 5th and dropped to 9th after the wrong strategy. And finally, the 4 drivers that got eliminated were the 2 Asses, Mooman and Marty Perez, the Mercedes of Trackster, crucially, that had the pace to fight for the win, I think, and in the end also get a money all run. And now we are heading into the last race. As Barks tell the drivers who got eliminated to leave the session, so Multiplayer is spectating with us, and I don't think, yeah, Mooman needs to leave as well, or at least put the spectator mode, and then we are ready to go. So Mooman is going spectator with us. And now Barks is setting up the grid once more for the final time. For the third and last elimination race. And we will go racing very soon. I think Mooman is the one setting the grid up, at least because he has the crown, so he's the leader of the lobby. So let's wait for this final race of the UK SS Vaham. Shout out to our sponsor. Let's have a look at the website. Also, the stream will be available on YouTube by the time the stream ends. So let me just fix one thing as we're waiting. Okay, we can go back to remote play because Barks is ready up. And so are the other drivers, and we are thrilling to to see what is gonna be the epilogue of this elimination I guess we can say mini championship, but it's not really a championship. 6 seconds to go, and we're through the final. Azerbaijan 25% race. Very important ending, because if Mr. Dibro gets a clear win on Nicolas Boita, then the game is almost over for the championship. We'll see as the lobby is loading, but hopefully it's not gonna load forever. And it's not glitch one more time, but it might be. Because there isn't the clock ticking running. That's really a game problem, really big game problem actually. It's so bad to have only one race possible to do and then the lobby backs out. And soon we're gonna have a message from Barks to quit and do another lobby. So in the meantime, let me adjust one more thing. I need to have a look at Rails to put him in the same spot as the other drivers. And we're gonna change the lobby hopefully soon, as soon as Bark sends the message. Write in the chat who you think is gonna win at the end of this race. I'm going bold, I'm gonna say it's Abishaka, because he's confident now. Simo and Mr. Debra will go out of the race coming together. The first lap, we will see. Still no messages. Maybe Barks is desperate to go. Because it's really incredible that this game is lacking so much on so many areas. As we're still loading, hopefully I'm not the one that is not in the lobby while it's running. I'm gonna try to close the application and rejoin, because I wonder if it's going and I'm seeing the loading situation alone. Because I got scared not seeing anybody riding. So maybe they are racing. Let's see if it's now loads into the lobby properly. Ooh, and he does, so they might be racing, and they are racing, but we're just in time with Zabijaka in the lead, and behind him Simapets in P2, Eisenberg in P3, Jules in P5. We sadly don't have the starts because for me it was not running up. I was in the lobby, but we were not actually saying anything. When Barks and Reels are a little bit far off, I wonder what happened. So let's put the tires on. So some drivers are on soft Simopeds. Crucially, he's in P2, 3/10 of a second behind Zabijaka on soft, so he's using his ERS to try and maintain the lead. He sets the fastest lap with a 1:47.1. Real Saravia goes into the pit, so he might have some damage collected with Barstool, who is losing. I saw at least half a 10 to Nicholas. The gap was before 1.7 second. Zabishaka maintained the lead going to the second sector, but Eisenberg is really close, and Simopets is trying to make a move. This would be maybe the move for the win. Eisenberg 1 second behind is following Simopets through. Jules is also a candidate for the win, but he needs to clear Eisenberg as soon as he can, because the Ferrari is on the medium and he's gonna have a really good second race. The Ferrari of Mars is also in contention on the softs as well. If we can follow Jules through Eisenberg, then it's gonna be a fight with the other McLaren. So the two Ferraris are scoring some big points today, and Mr. Debro is watching the train behind, in front, fighting and jockeying for position while he's on the medium and waiting for the second part of the race to have a clear way with the softs. And Nicolas Boita in the meantime is not really having the best of times on the softs, while Risk with a set of R's, and Simopets is trying to make a move on Zabijaka while setting the fastest lap. Zabijaka closed the door and Simopets waits behind. Barcelona Hood fastest lap overall, 1:43.3. Amazing effort from the Alpine driver, really good done from Barks, while Nicolas Bolt goes into the pit for a brand new set of mediums, and he's gonna rejoin in P8, so he wants a massive undercut to be done on the other drivers. Maybe it's a little bit too early, but he's surely gonna get a good amount of seconds in the bag with his undercut, since Mr. Debro is stuck in a train in front of him. If he's lucky, he's gonna get even to P3 or P2, since they are all divided in less than a second. There is this big train led by Zabishaka, who has anti-triple set of energy, so he's Simabets, who is not really going for the overtake. Now he's using a little bit of the ERS to try and get close by the time the main straight comes with DRS this time, because We're on lap 3 of 13 and now Simabets is really close with these shiny mediums, the Mercedes, and he's now gonna try to make a move on the Alfa Romeo of Zabijaga, who goes really defensive and he's trying to maintain the lead. Simabets goes alongside him, ERS and DRS wide open now. Also Zabijaga needs to look for Eisenberg, who is having a look at the inside, and Simabets clinch the lead, overtaking the Alfa Romeo, and Eisenberg sits in P3 waiting to get Zabijaga without ERS. When there is a yellow flag in sector 3, and was that Nicholas? Oh, maybe it was Reels. Yeah, it was Reels. It wasn't Nicholas, it was Reels. We have lost the car and it's now even more P9. So Zabijaga is gonna lose the DRS in this lap from Simapets, probably, and in fact is already without it. It's not in the range, and so Eisenberg might have a chance. Jules might have a chance, since we have seen many drivers overtaking 2 or 3 drivers in one shot. So anything can happen. Let's see where the outcome is gonna be. Eisenberg is trying already to make a move on the Alfa Romeo. Zabijaga is slowing down. Simapets is already 2.3 seconds and consolidating his win. And if I will be him, yeah, I will go as long as possible on this medium and pit at the very last few laps, not to get any kind of traffic or battles. But let's focus with Eisenberg, who is getting a slingshot slipstream on Zabijaga and is now getting P2. The two are fighting neck and neck going to P1, but Eisenberg with the DRS managed to go through, and Jules, an interesting tactics, goes into the pit to get the undercut on both, while Eisenberg get the move done on the Alfa Romeo, and Marcy is now following Zabijaga closely, trying to make what his teammates did, and the soft runner really need to pit on this lap if they don't want to be screwed. Oh, and Zabijaga fights back on Eisenberg and gets to P2, but Zabijaga goes wide. He outbreak himself and now lost the place on Marcy and Mr. Debro as well. And now Barks is coming faster than him and is not gonna get the place on Zabijaga because it was too far away, but surely is gonna have a chance going into the main straight. Barks is 5 seconds behind now Mr. Debro in P4. And Nicholas is surely gaining sometimes, but ooh, Barks almost outbreaking himself, and he has now lost some points because Zabijaga was going really so much slowly than him. I wonder how much Nicholas is gonna gain on Mr. Debro. Maybe it's not even gaining because he's 21 seconds off, so we need to see how much a pit stop affect, how much time the pit stop takes. So Marcy is using all this DRS because he's going into the pit. He's also activating DRS, but now goes safely through the pit lane to change the tires and charge the battery. So does Zabijaga, so that Bark Simpson Who, and the 3 are going into the pit. Let's see, the Ferrari did not get held, and now there are only mediums runner, and Simapets, Eisenberg and Mr. Debro needs to pit around lap 8 or 9, or maybe they're pitting on lap 7 actually, to perform at the very best at softs, to push them as hard as they can, while Simapets is leading the race quite comfortably and he's trying to get the gap as big as he can. Well, we have Eisenberg think I'm the winner. In fact, I don't. But he's doing a really good job. Oh, and I saw missed. I heard the sound of scratching the wall. So someone might have a slight wing damage. But now Mr. Debro is fighting Eisenberg for P2. Let's see if Simmer gonna pit. It doesn't look like he wants to continue, so the correct strategy, in my opinion, for the Mercedes driver. Let's see if it's gonna be the same for Mr. Debro and Eisenberg. They do the same strategy. Eisenberg goes defensive down inside. Mr. Debro tries to go around the outside. Eisenberg fights on the inside and maintain the place, but now Mr. Debro fights back and gets the place. And he's now getting the inside line. Eisenberg is behind, but does have the DRS. He's using all his energy to moves alongside the Red Bull and back in front of Mr. Debro, who has to sit. And now the Ferrari is back on position, but Mr. Debro is gonna be slowed down by the Ferrari since Eisenberg collect the wall and surely got some wing damage. And even if a minor one, this is surely gonna affect the Red Bull, because Nicolas Boida is doing a massive undercut at the moment and he's gaining so much time. We saw the gap was around 21 seconds, now the gap is around 18 seconds. So he has gained other 2 seconds and maybe he's gonna gain even more. So Mr. Debro needs to quit as soon as he can. And so will be these laps surely. You can tell Jules is gaining 1 second on Mr. Debro because Eisenberg is going slowly for that damage. And so this is the time for pit stop. Simopets also lining on the correct line to get safely through the pit stop. And the Mercedes goes to the pit stop. Let's see Mr. Debro. An interesting tactic for the Red Bull driver, for the driver who is leading the championship. He decides to continue and try to stretch a gap and try also to get an overcut on Eisenberg. Let's see if Eisenberg is... I don't think he changed the front wing, it was a little bit of a too fast of a pit stop. But now Nicolas Boida jumps ahead of Eisenberg, and that's a really good indicator because it tells us that he will be ahead of Mr. Debro, who's not even pitting yet. And we need to see Eisenberg's pace. Is he gonna have the pace to get to Nicolas Boita and overtake him? He's on a better compound and also a slightly younger one, but he's not gaining time. Actually he's losing, and he's losing so much. Maybe he does have the damage, but he has the size to stay to don't change the front wing. This might be a very bad decision because but now he's gaining back, so probably he just did a mistake in the very first sector. Let's stay on board with the driver who is leading the championship, and let's put also the leader gap. So we see that Nicolas is 17 seconds behind the leader, and he's gaining 1/10 every time the standings updates. So by the time Mr. Debro comes out of the pit, he's surely gonna be behind. And is he gonna be behind also of Eisenberg and maybe Zabijaka? Let's see. So he's switching to softs. Simopets and Jules got through. Marcy also got Marcy now gets through, and Nicolas is getting through now, but Mr. Debro is not that far behind, and he actually is between Nicolas and Eisenberg. So the Red Bull got a really nice out in lap, and now he needs to do the best job we can on the softs and get past Nicholas in the 4 laps that are following till the end of the race. Mr. Dibro is already gaining, and now Nicholas has to do the damage limitation. He needs to keep Mr. Dibro behind as much as he can. Yellow flag in sector 1 is the Aston Martin of Reels, who's already out of contention. He's gonna get P9 shortly, but now the Red Bull is coming. It's only 1 second and a bit. It would be crucial for Nicholas to get the Red Bull out of DRS, but he's gaining. And now here he comes, the DRS detection point. It's 135 millisecond. Did he got DRS? We will see on the straight. Well, Simopet set a 140.5, an amazing lap from him, and Mr. Dibro doesn't have the DRS, but surely will have it on the very next straight. And Nicholas is without any energy, and the Red Bull is now trying to get to Marcy, surely to get to P3, while Jules is having a fantastic race on his McLaren and is clearly going for a P2 finishing. That we have discounting all the way, but let's pop a little bit of the standings. Jules is with 53 points, so it's a little bit far back, and with 14 points he will go to 67, but it's a little bit too late. He needed that point finishing before. And now let's pop up Fred Nolasco and let's get on board. Let's get on board with him. Sorry, Nicholas Boyda, not Fred Nolasco. Nicholas Boyda, here he is. He got number 2 in his car, and also he finished second in season 1, and is now second in the Drivers' Championship this year. The Brazilian driver is trying desperately to hanging on to that P4, but Mr. Dibro is coming. The Red Bull driver and the championship leader, the two are fighting to win 500 pounds, and the Red Bull is gonna zoops around the outside if he managed to do so, because no, Nicholas, they're going neck and neck, and Nicholas is the one who breaks later and is now trying to get the inside line here, but he has learned from his battle with Eisenberg and decides to wait to get the DRS, but it's a little bit too far back, so Nicholas will save P4 for another lap, unless he can try to move to go to the switchback line, but he doesn't manage to do it. And this is helping Marcy to maintain his P3. Now Nicholas collect the wall and surely got some front wing damage, and it's gonna slow down Mr. Dibro so much. And with only 2.5 laps to go, Marcy, with a 4-second gap, is gonna push as hard as he can to maintain the podium. Now 4.7, so Nicholas is really losing so much ground, and Eisenberg will get bigger behind him when the overtake comes, when the change of the guard. So Nicholas tried his best with a very different strategy, but now the supremacy of the better tires comes. Nicholas still trying to hold on the inside line, but now Mr. Dibro swoops past the Alpine and is getting P4. And so we are on the penultimate lap of the race, and the championship leader has overtaken his rival, and now Nicholas is collecting even more damage. And why don't we have a look also at Barks, who is 3 tenths behind Zabijaka. Ooh, and there's contact. Zabijaka and Barks came together. Barks went a little bit too deep on the braking, and he has now lost the front wing and also the possibility to finish higher than P8. So why don't we? I think we have to stay on board with Eisenberg because he's gonna get really close to Nicholas, and he's gonna have an attempt to overtake him in the main straight. And also Mr. Dibro doesn't have the time to get Marcy unless he does a mistake with the Ferrari. He's gonna get the podium. What an amazing day it could be for Ferrari. P3 and P5, the best team. So they will get 24 points. The second team to score best will be Mercedes with 16. And now Nicholas has to brake or to lift and coaster and gets past. Let's see. Nicholas maybe is trying Eisenberg to get him at the very next straight, but he needs a really nice corner and he can't do that without a front wing. So the Ferrari is now signaling P5 and Zabijaka. I don't think he can close the gap from 8 seconds in one lap. Let's celebrate the moment of Silverpets, who has won the first elimination race, the second elimination race, and is now leading the third one. He's almost at the last sector. Of the final lap. Zabijaka 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limit. That's the first penalty we're seeing today. And he's now on the last turns, the last corners that are really flat out. And the Mercedes is gonna win the third race, the fourth race in a row. Silverpets is gonna win with 16 points in the bag for his team. Silverpets wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix round 8 of Division 1. And Jules, an amazing effort for the McLaren in P2. Nicely done for him. And Marcy gets P3. Amazing performance for the German drivers, was in P9 at the end of the second elimination race, getting the last grids possible, and now finished P3. The championship leader extend his lead to Nicolas Boita from 11 points to 13, with Eisenberg finishing in the mix with the two championship contender. And that's it. That's the end of the third race. And so the end of round 8. Mr. Dibro is crowned as driver of the day. I think my driver of the day for this elimination race are Jules and Marcy in ex aequo. I think the two deserves indeed really an amazing effort. And that's the final ending. Silverpets, Jules, Marcy, Mr. Dibro, Eisenberg, Nicholas, Zabijaka, Barks Little Hood, and Rils Torvillo completing the grid. That's it for Division 1 Round 8 of the UK SS Dachau Battle Racing League. And we'll stay tuned on this Twitch channel because soon we're gonna have the Division 2 race. Hopefully I'll catch you in next week because we're gonna have the title decider, the championship decider in Japan with the endurance race, a 200% race. So thank you very much for tuning in. See you soon.